Hi there, this is Jo Saunders from Wildfire Social Marketing, here with Cyril Court-Leven. Hi Cyril.
Hello.
I'd just like you to introduce yourself and what you actually do and what you specialise in.
Perfect. What I do, I mainly work as a speaker at conferences, events, on the topic of the changed mindset. So how can people cope with all the changes that are happening?
Yeah.
And I give them a few small fundamental things that they can do, very practical things, to be open and to be a bit more flexible.
Excellent. Well, obviously I've just heard you speak at the Professional Speakers Convention, and one thing that triggered my interest was your reference to your success with using LinkedIn. So I thought I could do a quick casual interview just to chat about that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you contacted 10 people and you got some bookings from it. So just walk me through the process, because I'm really excited about it.
What my dream was, it was 5 years ago, I wanted to become an international speaker, and one of the things where I thought, if I can do a speech at the other side of the world, that would be quite cool. So I thought, if I can give a presentation in New Zealand and in Belgium, wow, all the other countries are in between.
No, you haven't actually said where you're from.
I'm from Belgium.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I'm so that's for me the other side of the world.
Yeah.
But he didn't know anybody there, so I was thinking, how can I get in touch with somebody at the other side of the world?
Yeah.
Then I thought, wait a minute, LinkedIn, that's probably connecting people all over the world. So at that moment I went to LinkedIn and I typed in, you can do an advanced search, I typed in New Zealand, country,
Yeah.
and I typed in the keywords creativity and innovation, because that's my topic that I'm talking about, and I thought, probably those are the most relevant people.
Yeah.
But then you get a list of thousands of people who have creativity and innovation in the profile, and I took the first 10. I thought those are probably the most relevant ones.
Yeah.
And then I've sent a personal email to those 10 people.
So this is outside of LinkedIn?
Yes, so on
Yeah.
LinkedIn you can only see the name, company name, but then you go to Google, and then 30 seconds later,
Find the magic.
Yep, you have an email, and then you can mention again, I found you on LinkedIn, I see that you're working in this domain. I'm Cyril, I'm from Belgium, I'm a creativity expert, I'm coming to your country, can we have a coffee or a beer? What happened is that 5 people, I was really amazed, 5 people replied.
So 50% success rate. Wow.
Wow, and they said, let's have a chat, and with a few, I had a Skype call, and from that 2 assignments arose from it. So maybe
Wow.
not the best base assignment, but suddenly from scratch, I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
Thanks to LinkedIn, I got in touch with people who were interested in the stuff that I did, and now I've built up a network there. So
That's
yeah, it
fantastic.
absolutely helped me to grow my business and to grow my network.
That's great, because it's always good to hear success stories with LinkedIn, because a lot of people get, I think, a little bit frustrated. They've set up a profile, they might be building a network, but then it's what to do with the network. And so you've taken this, before you built the network, you've actually leveraged that relationship before and actually getting business from it. So just, yeah.
And maybe another thing, how I use LinkedIn quite well as a speaker, people hire me once. I think around 90% of the time somebody saw me in action, saw me on stage before they hire me. So seeing me or a referral or recommendation is so important. That's what I love about LinkedIn. I can ask a recommendation, put it on my website, but now what I do is if I gave a presentation, I look for the highest in rank, and then I ask that person after the presentation, if they liked it of course, and say, if you like it, are you willing to write 2 or 3 lines as a recommendation?
Yeah.
And at this moment I think I have around 140 different recommendations. Then you can say, why do you need so much? But if I'm working in a certain industry, I can have a look quite easily. I did something in that industry, this is the recommendation. So it helps me, and it's out there. People know I didn't make it up, because they have written it on LinkedIn. So that's also how I use it.
And I mean, you just mentioned people who see you speak, and I guess when you think about, say you decide you want to speak in Iceland. I don't know if you've been there.
No.
I don't know.
No.
So
I would like to go there.
put that on the list. So you could use LinkedIn to sort of find your connections as you've done. But if they don't know you yet, they still don't know who you are. If you've got video on your profile of you speaking, now you talked about having a show reel, which is you in action. Straight away, you've got a reference point. If that's on your profile, they're going to look at you anyway and get the evidence that you can speak. You've got that proof in your recommendations, and they can see what your content is.
And also what I'm doing more and more is using the articles on LinkedIn.
Yep.
So I have my own blog, but I don't know how many people come there, 200, it's not a lot. But if you put it out on LinkedIn, again, I just do a copy paste. Yeah. I first put it on my blog and then 3 weeks later put it on LinkedIn. I get a lot of new views via that way. So there's also a way how we can prove your credibility and show that you know something about the topic. So.
And what you say, the numbers might be low. I mean, when that feature came out to LinkedIn a few years ago, I mean, not many people were using it, so the views were huge. Now they've gone down, but it's about having the right views as well. So, and also once you've published it on LinkedIn, it's about marketing that content. So, sharing it. So now you've got a reference point. So if you're contacting that guy in Iceland who's going to book you for the conference, you say, I wrote an article about X, Y, Z. Have a look. It's on my profile, and straight away they can see it. So. It's that evidence and building up your position.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. I use LinkedIn a lot.
Yay!
So,
It's good to find people excited because I find a lot of people with a resistance to LinkedIn. They don't understand it, or they're getting spammed by people. But it's really good to hear these success stories and people who are actually getting booked through using LinkedIn. So thank you for sharing those tips with us. I'm sure some people can actually think, wow, how can I use LinkedIn better for my business, or whether they're a speaker, whether they're in business. Yeah. There's always something you can do.
Good luck,
so
and you can find me on LinkedIn and connect.
Yes, and they can view your articles and see your videos and.
Perfect.
Yes, and ask him about his ladder story. That's a story.
That's for another time.
Excellent, thanks, Cyril.
Bye.
See you.
Ciao, ciao. Whoops.